just want to understand why Working on Fire is called Working on Fire Pty Ltd now.
Okay. Okay. The Working on Fire program is an expanded public works program. It is run by the Department of Environment Affairs, and it is given to a company to implement. Okay? Before we used to call ourselves FFA Operations, Pty Limited, but we had some problems when we came to renting buildings, etc., because we say we like a building for working on fire, but when it came to signing the document, we had to sign FFA Operations. So we agreed with government to simplify it. We'll call the company Working on Fire Pty Limited to implement the Working on Fire program. So the implementer is Working on Fire Pty Limited.
Mr. I would like to ask, the quality of the PPC, has it changed? I don't know if maybe you have changed the supply or what, because the quality is not the same of the uniform, the first uniform that we had.
Yeah.
The layer, it's like, it doesn't have double layer like the first trousers that we used to have. So I'd like to get a clarity on that. Can it be reconsidered or anything?
Yeah, I think we will certainly look at this PPE concern. I'm not aware of us changing any of the specifications on the garments, and I assure you we will look into this matter, because the PPC has to be made to a specific standard that we ask our suppliers. So if people have not been giving double-sided front for the pants and the quality of the garment is in question, we will look into it. The material are very clearly specified in our request for manufacturers to do the garments. So it would be very concerning to hear that there are some problems on that front.
I want to ask if the company is it open, because youth are willing and they are busy preparing themselves in the company. Is the company able or preparing to make bursaries for them? And again, the study leave, the days are very short. Maybe can you maybe extend the days?
One of the programs that we would like to start, particularly with the recent fires that we've had, is to start up a scholarship program. But we would need to raise some funds to try and get to the scholarship program, right? We don't have any funds per se in terms of funds that we can use for scholarships as such. We want to actually raise funds now to make a scholarship program together. So there is such a proposal to try and raise funds and get the public to contribute to, a scholarship program for our beneficiaries in the program. In terms of the study leave, we got a real problem on our hand, in the sense that we can only claim from government for every day we pay someone. Okay? Now, in the EPWP, because Working on Fire is not like other programs where they work for 3 months and then they finish. We work the whole year, and in fact come back next year again. So we have got a leave allowance that we can pay people and get credited for. And part of that is also the kind of days that we've been able to put aside for study. I think if there is in fact an argument that people can in fact progress through a study leave, I think we can look at it, but I'm not sure how government's going to respond to those days, because if we are paying you and you're not coming and signing on, then there's a problem. So when they audit us and they come to your base and they'll say, when was Donald present? They want to see your signature, okay? The only time Donald hasn't there is there and you say, no, he is on leave, or he's on family leave or sick leave, which is in our policies. So to change that, we need to get government to agree to more days if people want to do study leave. So I think it's something people have been raising with us. We need to look at what are the study leave requirements, and what are people studying, so that we can see if we can motivate the government to give more period for study leave.
Is it possible that we can receive our payslip before month end.
Can you explain to me what is this issue about getting the payslip before month end? I don't understand it.
Yeah, some payslip we receive them somewhere around the 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you find that, let's say RM find them on the 5th, and then maybe it's gonna take him maybe 4 days again to go to the basis.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
firefighters, they are looking those payslip there at the base. So if we can get them maybe before, then we can have much time to give them their.
Can you explain to me, just to understand, what is the significance of having a payslip as opposed to the money in the account?
No, the payslip, the access, the payslip, it gives them access to maybe to make credits and all other stuff.
Oh, I see. So they can use the payslip to get
Yeah.
other credit. I understand.
Mm.
Okay. I think we need to look at how this thing is generated. I don't actually know myself the mechanics of how it's generated. I don't know whether we can even look at things like sending a WhatsApp picture of the payslip to people. Obviously, it's an administrative problem in terms of what it takes to print and get out. I now understand what you're saying is that people need a payslip sometime to justify credit or whatever. But it's something we can try and look at. I don't know myself how the payslip is actually generated and the timing. I would imagine on the system we can't generate the payslip before we press the button for pay.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's probably coming from a system. Once we put all the payroll together, signed off, and you press that button and go and pay. I don't think you can actually print the payslip before that process is concluded. So I would need to look at that one.
If that payslip can come before we get our salary,
Mm.
it will be simple for us to query before we can get paid.
Oh, I see. In terms of queries that you might have, are there many queries?
Pardon?
Are there many queries? People query pays a lot.
Yeah, they are querying some of the times.
But-
Not that much.
Mm.
So if ever we see on a payslip that we have worked for 21 days,
Mm.
when the money, I compare with the daily attendance register, I'll be able to tell the RM before they can put the money in the bank. Why on our payslip it doesn't show that we have
Children.
children and stuff?
I don't know why when we ask you, have you got children, when you sign up,
Yeah.
but in the payroll they haven't entered the data. It has been raised with me a number of times, and we will try and address it. I think it's just people have not got to enter the data properly.
Mr. Trevor, why don't we get allowance when we are on a project? Like away from our home base to another project.
Okay. Let me address the away from home base allowance. The idea and the policy on away from home base allowance is that if we ask you to go away from your home base to another base where you have to pay for your own accommodation and your own food, we give you an extra allowance because maybe you still have to pay your rent where you are from your home base. So now I'm aware that there have been cases where things haven't been applied properly like that.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, when you're going for a deployment, if it's in your province or even outside of your province, in other words, you're going there for a specific issue, it really depends whether we're accommodating you and feeding you. Right? When we went to Neisner recently, you had your accommodation was provided, your food was provided, so there's no need for away from home base allowance. Okay? But if I ask you to go, you're a crew leader, we need a crew leader at a new base. Okay? You're going to start that particular base, it might last for 3, 6, 9 months, 12 months. We have to give you away from home base allowance. Okay?
So that allowance, they won't cut it while you are at the other base.
No, if we ask you, if we require you to work at a new base, you should every month get away from your home base allowance. Okay? That is the kind of added monies that help you in terms of your accommodation and your food when you're away. You still get your salary, okay? But we understand that maybe, you know, you might have to be paying rent from where you are coming from. Now, there's been lots of different solutions. Sometimes we provide you with accommodation, sometimes we provide you with food and accommodation. So those are the kind of things we need to understand properly, because the away from home base allowance is intended to cover those costs. No? But it doesn't apply when we have a deployment to a fire in your province or at another province, etc., when they are giving you food.
So then, what if we have accommodation for you? Do you still have that?
Well, you see, that's where, Larry, you know, the reality is that we haven't had a formula which says if you give accommodation, this is what we give you for food. You see? And I think that's what we really need to just tighten up, that the total amount must cover your food and your accommodation. But if we give you accommodation and you must sort that food, we need to have a different formula.
Okay, Mr. My question is, why is it the traveling allowance differ? And again, when it is a good time to receive that money?
Okay, the travel allowance is basically intended to give you firefighters some money to be able to buy food on the way to wherever we're sending you. So, if that's the case, obviously I should give it to you before you leave, right? Because you're traveling, and I'm asking you to travel from point A to B, and at the moment the policy says something to the effect that every 8 hours we give you 52.50. So that's an amount that's been a bit static, so we need to review that. But it's important that firefighters are given the means to eat on the way they're going there. I am aware that there's been some allegations, but there have been unevenness. In some cases, provinces are catering for people going there and coming back, right? Sometimes they only give them for the money going there, and then they're supposed to get more money when they're coming back. So this is one of the issues that we will be evening out, you know. We can't have different policies in different areas.
Is there any possibilities that structural firefighters can come back again?
Okay. We developed a structural program as a way of trying to elevate our firefighters. Yeah, to try and give an opportunity, prepare them for the job market. We also tried to put them with municipalities where we said, okay, we will pay for the first year, maybe 2 years, but you must take them on. The problem is the municipalities didn't play ball. They didn't take the people over. They took a few people here and there, they took them over, but they didn't really take them over. And then the Department of Environment says, look, hey, we are not in the business of structural firefighting. No? We can't be using this funds which is coming from our natural resource management budget to be training firefighters that are going into structural. We like the idea that you try to get them a route out, but we can't be funding this. So what we did is we actually developed some contracts with, I think there's about 4 or 5 municipalities to place people there, and they actually give money to the Department of Environment Affairs. Now some of those contracts are coming to an end at the moment. So we have to see whether we can actually extend that and do that. So until we get the municipalities ready to take people, we can't find funds to actually train more people now. I think one thing that we're very proud of in WOF is that of our 385 managers in WOF, 193 are former firefighters. And I'm saying above crew lead even. Talking about RM, GOM, even video photography in our fire awareness activities, okay? But we can't obviously absorb everybody just in WOF in management. We are going to be embarking on a much more aggressive campaign where we're going to try and place people in jobs in the industry, trying to get people CVs, trying to approach employers and see if they're not able to, in fact, take some of our people on.
You are back now, so just want to know how often will you visit the bases? Because firefighters already, they want to see you.
Yeah, if I had the way, I would visit every base every day going around, because at the end of the day, it's interacting with our firefighters to get a sense of what's going on. Okay. Obviously, it's not possible in terms of what I also have to do in terms of managing the company at another level. So I'm going to embark on a regular program of going to bases throughout the country. You must remember there are 200 bases. Right? So if you look at how much days in the year, and you look at that 200 bases are spread all around the country. They're not in one street. So even physically to get around, I mean, I've struggled to get to 8 provinces even now. To go and just address the provincial meetings. With all of that, it becomes very difficult simply just to be going around on the road. There's still a company to run. So it is certainly my intention to make a point of trying to go around to the bases, because at that level, we pick up what's at the heart of the organization, what's going on, what's going right, what's going wrong. I think I always say to our management, if it wasn't for our firefighters, there's no job for you.